Hello everyone, and welcome to Realm of the Dead, which is a horror-themed beat-em-up featuring zombies, as you might have figured from the title.
古より緑あふれる世界。この世界はネバーランドと呼ばれ、人々は天界に暮らす精神コリーヤと地上を治める大魔王ジャネスを恐れ敬いながら時代を重ねてきた。魔導世紀994年、カイゼルウォーン地方で死者の群れが人間の村を襲うという事件が起こる。その死者たちは次々と村を襲い、都市部へと侵攻していった。
Quite a bit more backstory than you might expect from the funny zombie game. So you'll notice something immediately about these characters, right? Is that one is just apparently clearly better than the others. Like Hero here has 2000 HP, 200 attack, 180 defense, 160 agility. This gal, less of all of those. This guy, less of all of those except HP, which raises the question, why would you play as anyone but Hero when Hero has objectively the best stats? We're going to play as Greaser anyway, because I like his name and he's a knight, and knights are cool.
死者が人間を襲うという事実に疑念を持った大聖者ドリファンは事態把握のため極秘裏のうちに聖騎士グリーザをカイゼルオンへと向かわせた。
Something I do love about the aesthetic of budget games is the way they'll use the same few shots over and over, because they don't exactly have the means to get dynamic camera angles for anything. So I've played enough of this to understand basically what you do in it. You fight zombies with some pretty standard beat-em-up combat. There's some light action RPG elements. You can switch between various weapons and items. You can level up to get more combos. And that's basically it as far as the RPG mechanic goes, as far as I can tell. Let's get into fighting zombies. Oh, I think I have to talk to this fella first. There we go. So as far as beat-em-ups go, this one follows some pretty traditional game design sensibilities as far as I can tell. Like, it's all about crowd control, all about spacing between you and your enemies, but there is one special thing you can do when an enemy is down. Oops, I did that wrong. I wasted my opportunity. You'll see it again, though. It's a very important mechanic. We can block. We have two kinds of attacks right now. We have our basic 3-hit combo. There we go. We can stab people while they're down to kill them easier. We can pick up items with the circle button. And those are the most important things you need to know right away, I suppose, is to attack enemies while they're down and pick up items with the circle button. Items are your lifeblood in this game. Like, as much as it's important to pay attention to your spacing and be aware of the enemy types and what they all do, it's even more important to keep in mind, hit enemies while they're down, grab all the items you see. You're going to need them. Because you can buy items between levels, but they're expensive. We can also uppercut enemies to knock them over instantly, and then hit them on the ground thereafter. And yeah, while they're down, they're practically already dead. So getting them on the ground is the best state. That's the end goal of any combat encounter, is to get the enemies on the floor. Keep that in mind. You should be fine early on, as far as I can tell. I've only played the first level, but that's what I'd gotten from the game design as for the first level. It did seem weird to me at first that you can knock enemies into the air without any kind of, like, traditional follow-up. Like, you can't juggle them or anything like that. But, you know, knocking them into the air knocks them over, which is way more beneficial than juggling them. Ground attacks aren't all that common in beat-em-ups, so it's kind of fitting that a ground attack in a beat-em-up would be so special. I assume we'll be able to get poisoned later. I don't know why the game automatically switches which item you're holding. Like, I'd prefer to just keep the small potions auto-selected until I'm ready to switch to something else. Maybe it does that when you get a new item, like a new class of item. I do have Spice Dragon tea with me here today. I'm going to take a sip of that right now. As always, when it's out, I'll stop playing. Spice Dragon tea, bit of a softer flavor than the other teas I drink. Smells probably the best out of all of them, though. I'm sorry, sir. We would have loved to have helped you, but for some reason, I just can't walk through this gate until this cutscene is over. Or maybe I was waiting until the opportune dramatic moment. Anyway, here's an optimal opportunity to showcase our special move, which knocks over a bunch of enemies all at once. And fighting a ton of enemies, I suppose this isn't really a ton, but fighting multiple enemies in close quarters like this might seem really threatening if you don't know about down attacks. And the thing about down attacks is that if you hit an enemy while they're down, the other enemies seem to back off a little bit to let you finish. So it's a huge breather as well. We have a second special gauge still, so I believe we can also knock these guys over. It's probably not optimal. We might want to save it for the next room. But it's doable. I haven't looked up any other... Yeah, they back off a bit. You might even be invincible, I'm not sure. I looked up other, I haven't, excuse me, looked up other playthroughs of this, so I don't know how everyone else fares with the mechanics and whatnot. But the invincibility you get from knocking over enemies and draining them is a huge deal, as you can see. It is everything so far. It is the meta. And, you know, then... Oh, life recovery. What is that? I wonder if that's distinct from, like, regular potions. Does this mean I get an extra life? Anyway, you get more combos to better control crowds of enemies and whatnot. Oh, there's more enemies. I know that you get... I know that you get more combos because after you finish the first level, you get one. But it seems like the game is very simple overall, again, like those old beat-em-ups. So I'm a fan of it. Like, I like me some old beat-em-ups. I like me some simplicity. I like fantasy. This game has fantasy in it. Oh, I seem to have forgotten how to use the second special move, but that's what this is for. Let's see. Press the special attack button while holding down the defend button. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm back. Guys, come back. We were doing a thing. Come back. See, that's just swell. That took care of all of them. But yeah, that's all the design as I understand it so far. I just played the first level to get a basic feel for things. While the enemies are down and you do the down attack, if you smash the attack button, they seem to die faster, by the way. There's also a ranking system, and I'm curious what my ranking is, because last time I got a B, but I think I did much better this time. Yeah, I'm very comfy doing this. I love playing new beat-em-ups. I love exploring new beat-em-ups, especially really esoteric ones like this. Like, I don't know if anyone's really heard of Realm of the Dead. I know one of my friends, BioEnchanted, played it briefly. I got an A that time. I feel pretty good about that. Weak, then 2 strongs, yeah. And we can level up our character. Yeah. Enhance equipment. 2,000 points required, that's way too much. Items are really expensive, I recall. But we're probably going to save up to level up our sword. Because I have to imagine leveling up our sword would be a big deal. Like, I don't know if it just deals more general damage or it also deals more down attack damage, but I want more of that. Sacked or ransacked? I must know. Which is it? Oh, that's it? That's the whole cutscene? Alright, in we go. These guys block, as you might have figured, but you can attack them from behind or the side. And that catches them off guard. I didn't mean to do that, but we'll pretend it was intentional. I really enjoy, like unironically enjoy, how generic Geezer's design is. Greaser, I think that's his name. How generic Greaser's design is. How strange his name is. Like, maybe if you live in Japan, like, Greaser sounds cool. But it sounds like Greaser to me. And a little bit like Geezer also. But, you know, you have to be content with the cards you were dealt. But you can tell the king you don't like your name. You want to be knighted under a different name. These were different times. There's no real take-backsies on that, I think. It does take a while to do that uppercut. Oop. So you got to be careful about that. Let me try the new combo. There we go. Generally, you want to do that in the middle of a group instead of so far away. But yeah, you take some hits here and there, but it's really not anything too bad, especially with enemies constantly dropping items so far. It feels like a very understandable gameplay loop. Guess this new enemy type dives at you. That doesn't seem too threatening. You should probably approach from the side instead of straight on. The environment's very, very unappealing. Like, it matches the dark fantasy aesthetic, to be sure. But in general, it doesn't look very pleasant. Like, everything's very boxy. I'm gonna assume the textures mutilating like this is not the game's fault, though. Oh, I should have stopped at the second blow. It is possible for them to get back up before you finish doing that, but it seems really rare. Actually, let me see if I can do something real quick about the textures flipping out. Yeah, there we go. That seems to have fixed it. Textures are behaving as they should. I will assume the seams are just part of the game. Whatever else might be my fault. I will assume the seams and the textures are not. See if I can get him while he's down there. Game is a bit slow-paced, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Oops, gotta get real close before you do that. Music also not particularly impressive so far. But again, this is the second level. And this was part of, I think, the Simple series of games. The Simple series being... Let me take a sip of my tea. The Simple series being a bunch of budget games released at a deliberately low price and made on the cheap. With the idea, the business model that, hey, we'll make games based around exploring simple concepts with simple mechanics. And as long as they're explored well, people will want to purchase them. And I do enjoy the Simple series. I own quite a few games from the Simple series. Only Chanbara started in the Simple series, I believe. And I could be wrong about this being a Simple series game, but everything about it reeks of the Simple series. Like, everything from the simplistic cutscenes to the fairly bog standard audio, to the simple but easy to simple to understand but difficult to master game mechanics. It just really feels like a Simple series game for sure. I think probably the game this reminds me the most of are those like really weird roguelike beat-em-ups that you would occasionally get in the PS2 era. I don't know if Crimson Tears is a fair... I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to throw that bomb. I don't know if Crimson Tears is a fair comparison, but that one immediately comes to mind. But it's been way too long. It's been way too long for me to fairly compare a game to Crimson Tears, I think. Other things that this reminds me of include, but not limited to, I can't believe I forgot his name. X-Blades, that's the name. I'm reminded a little bit of X-Blades. Hopefully there's not as much grinding as in X-Blades, though. Like, there's a lot of grinding you have to do in X-Blades to get from area to area, and it is most certainly not optional. I think it's very telling that one of the specials is simply to knock the enemy straight over. That's also one of your basic attacks, but the game's definitely trying to tell you that that's the optimal state. And I do wonder whether the other characters are able to do that. Like, I've only ever played as Greaser. I don't know if the other characters can knock over enemies, or if they have the same gameplay loop. That might be something worth experimenting with. But yeah, you know, you pick this up for 20 bucks, or I think it was 2,000 yen. And you'd head home and be... Ooh. And you'd head home and be like, well, I got a new beat 'em up featuring zombies. I'm gonna go slash me some zombies, and then you do that, and hopefully you'd find yourself satisfied with the slightly above average quality for the price. Take another sip of my tea. Another A. Feeling good about that. 2 weak attacks, 2 strong attacks. Even longer combos. I wonder if this one's as good as crowd control, though. Absolutely. Now it does more damage. And I suppose we'll see if it does more damage with down attacks, or just when I'm hitting enemies straight on. I also have to assume that the various stages are vastly different in terms of graphics, like style, aesthetic. I can only hope so. Because while this game isn't bad by any means, and it has very simple, very functional game design, as is befitting, you know, the Simple series, it would be optimal if there were more environmental variety shortly. Because this isn't very appealing to look at. I think we've discussed this environment is very, very uninteresting. Like, I'm not sure you could make a more uninteresting environment unless you were deliberately trying to. Let me just use this one already. It might seem like a waste, but... Oh, I missed. I didn't know that that was a thing that could happen at that range. Let me see if I can... Well, I got one of them. Let me try again. There we go. But yeah, as you're seeing here, like, maybe if you're not super familiar with beat-em-ups, this might look like it's reasonably challenging, but it's very basic spacing stuff. That, coupled with the fact that it's... oh, another game this reminds me of, though, this comparison is even worse, is Legacy of Darkness on the 64. But I really like Legacy of Darkness. Legacy of Darkness does so much more with its atmosphere than this. But it's just the low poly graphics that are reminding me, I think, and nothing else. Well, the low poly graphics and horror theme, obviously. New combos already putting in the work, that's for sure. Like, hard to complain about the results I'm getting. Knocks the enemies really far away. Deals lots of damage, though I can't be sure if that's my sword or not. Yeah, really good for crowd control too, it seems like. This might be one of those games that gets easier as it goes on. I guess we'll see. Get the key. I wonder if it's good that I'm just, like, running straight through the level like this, or if I should be more carefully exploring. Because I was there at first, but... Oh, I was exploring more carefully at first, but... Like, at some point, I have to wonder if it's just more beneficial to be quick about it. Because, you know, the faster I get through the level, the more I can see other stuff. And again, it's not like the design or enemy types or any such thing are inadequate. It's just that this game is hurting for some personality. It did have a really cool rock intro, to be fair, that you didn't get to see. Like, there's an anime opening with some hard rock. I think it's hard rock. Might be butt rock. Take another sip of my tea. The boss fellow? Or is he just detonating a building? Just detonating a building? I can respect that. Detonating a building to free your friends, that's even more respectable. Like, I was already fine with the terrorism, like maybe you're trying to stick it to the man or something. Perfectly reasonable. But if you're doing it to spring your buddies, that's even more justifiable, so I'm definitely on your side, guy. Just, you know, explain your motivations a bit so that way I can understand whether aligning with you is morally justifiable, or if it's just my own biases informing me that you are to be trusted. And, like, I am sorry I'm having to kill your friends also. I don't know if you meant for them to fight me, or if this is just an unfortunate coincidence that we're fighting right now. Because, you know, if so, I feel like this is probably giving you a very incorrect impression of me. I like to think I'm a pretty agreeable person. Like, I am getting some satisfaction out of destroying your buddies, I don't want to lie, because I like playing beat-em-ups, and this is a beat-em-up and all, but I'm gonna knock you guys over, okay? Thank you. I'm gonna get at least one of the big ones out of the way. Now might be a... Oh, am I being eaten? Something like that. Now might be a good time to check out one of these. How do I use this item? Well, I did something, alright. I don't know if it was worth it, but I did something. Let's see what other options I have. Is this the one I just threw? This one looks more normal. I think we'll save the rest for later. Oh. I definitely thought I had him. Like, I for sure thought I spaced myself better. Let me wrap around you. Oh. He spun around right quick. You know what? Maybe we will try that other bomb. I missed. Hold on, let me try again. There we go. Doesn't seem to deal very much damage, but maybe it's a quick way to knock guys over from a distance is all. There we go, we got him. I could definitely be more careful. Like, the approach I'm taking is not optimal, I think. I'm being a little careless because, seems like the hitbox on those guys could be better. Anyway, I'm being a little more careless because, so far the game hasn't presented too much challenge. But that could change at any moment. Like, maybe I'll have to fight this guy. Or not, you know? Or not is fine, too. I'd be surprised if I got an A rank that time. I took a lot of damage. Oh, I still got an A. It doesn't seem like the amount of damage I take means anything, just the time to complete and my combos. Oh, is this a desperation move? Weak and strong at the same time? That's usually what the desperation moves are. I wonder if it takes any of my health, though. That's the question. How much does it cost to buy one of these? 200. Sure, that's not so bad. Buy a couple of those for the road. There are a lot more if you do badly, I think, because the points you have is determined by how well you play. Take another sip of my tea. Excuse me, is the second level a sewer level? I don't mean to tell you guys what to do, or nothing. There are valid reasons to have sewer levels and all, but it's very comical and unfortunate that the second level in your incredibly dull-looking beat-em-up is already a sewer level. Like, that's very, very unfortunate. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think you're going to be winning anyone over with this. And like I said, you know, there are artistic reasons to do a sewer level. There's some sewer levels that have been done really well. There's, the maze-like one in Brawl Brothers comes to mind. There's, I'm trying to think about what was it called? Damnation had a pretty good sewer level. I feel like the hitbox on these guys is rather unfortunate. I appreciate the maneuverability of these guys, how you have to, like, outfox them. It can't just be those two games, though. I know I've played games with more promising sewer levels than just those two. Maybe blow in it a bit early, but it was just the most satisfying time for that, I think. I don't really see a keyhole on that door. I don't mean to be nitpicky. Enemies are blocking my way? How so? Are they in here? Also, the music suggests that something terrifying is happening. I don't really feel scared, though. Oh, it's just more enemies, okay. The enemies that flop over, no less. They don't really seem to deal much damage. That one takes a bit of wind-up. I should be more careful. Let me try, There we go. Oh. Also, I forgot to try the desperation attack. I should try that now. Oh, did that not take any of my health? I really feel like that should take some of your health. It seems super useful. Maybe it, like, has a really, really big wind-up or something. Nope. It just goes pretty much instantly. It goes much faster than the uppercut. Yeah. There's no reason to use anything but that now, I think. Because it just seems to be the easiest way to get guys in the air. So you swing it like a baseball bat. Which I don't think would be terribly effective in a real combat scenario, is swinging your sword like a baseball bat. Oh, there's more. I feel like maybe the one wave of these guys was enough. Because, you know, again, the enemy types are fine, the game design is fine. I just feel like you're not making optimal use of your resources or the player's time by making these two separate waves. Especially when, again, the hitbox on those guys is really, really unpleasant to work with. I can definitely see why I haven't seen many people speaking about this game. That's not to be mean or anything. It's just like, of the Simple Series games, you have even if you're like looking specifically for a Simple Series game to play, you have quite a list. There's a lot of choices. And there's not even a small number of beat-em-ups. There were a surprisingly large amount of Simple Series beat-em-ups. And if you wanted a horror-themed beat-em-up, there's that really excellent one that I can't remember the name of. That was also part of the Simple Series. Where you play as a Pumpkinhead guy. And it is quite, like, genuinely good. Not just for Simple Series, but, like, really genuinely great. Need to remember that game. I think the developer of that game made a couple other games I also really enjoy. But yeah, no, this is, like, unfortunately, this is where the game starts feeling like busy work to me. Like, I get it. You wanted to lock the player character in a big room with a ton of enemies. I just don't think that this is like, I was legitimately thinking I was doing something wrong, maybe. Like, I wasn't supposed to kill them that way or something. Let me take a sip of my tea. And I don't want to keep harping on the environment. But it is very telling that it keeps coming back to mind. I think I must have left the key in the other room. My tea is about half, or maybe a little bit over half gone. So we'll see, oh, there's more back here. We'll see how this goes. Okay, that does explode. Maybe I could use that to take out some enemies, or not. Alright, I found it. It was just another hallway off to the side. That's all. Oh, there's the key. Should I bother breaking the rest of these? I think I'm just going to leave. Like, I can't really think of any good reason to break the rest of those. The game does seem to be getting easier as it goes on, if anything. So it's hard to justify spending the additional time. And again, like, you could probably get some more interesting tunes in here as well. Anything to spice this up. Anything at all. I feel like if you watch the rock intro to this game, that'd definitely take you a long way. But you don't have the benefit of that, which I think is probably better. Because the good spirits that rock intro puts you in might make you believe that it's worth sitting through this sewage level. This is the sort of game that it feels like critics would make fun of. Hold on. Weak attack and strong attack buttons while moving to score running attack. I mean, I was already doing that, and it was knocking enemies in the air, but I guess we'll see if this is better. Maybe it's better. But yeah, this definitely seems like the kind of game that that critics made fun of when they talked about beat-em-ups. Like, I hate general discourse around beat-em-ups as mindless games. I hate the idea that they're all the same, because they're not. Beat-em-ups are actually vastly different from one another, but this one feels as generic as it gets, really, so far. Oh, a boss. Hold on, let me use my special. Did I win? Am I winning? That running attack seems way less optimal than my attack I already had previously. I got her. Don't worry, lady. I intend to cheese this as much as possible. Can you fight back? I feel like you're not really putting up much of a fight. See, that was cool, but it didn't really deal any damage or nothing. Let's see, what have I got here? Try one of these. See if it knocks her over or does any meaningful damage. It knocks her over, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like a war of attrition is obviously not the best way to handle this, but it might be sufficient. Which is always I got her? I appear to have got her? Alright. I'll take it. That's her fleeing, I suppose. Just an isolated image of her fleeing. An S rank. I didn't even know you could get S ranks, but now I guess I do. Ooh. Sure, I could use more HP. I'd have to heal less, I suppose. Wonder if there are any full playthroughs of this. Okay. Is it already equipped? Do I have to, like, do something special to equip it, or... Equip? Yep, I clicked equip. Nope, that's it. That appears to be it. Alright. Point redemption shop. Can I level up my sword again? Yes. Thank you. Alright, well, the boss was also pretty inadequate. She had, like, a variety in moves, it seemed like, but it didn't really amount to much. Like, again, a war of attrition was sufficient. I do also feel like this game is under-delivering on its, like, general zombie premise. Like, I don't want to... Again, I don't want to be mean to Realm of the Dead or anything. But it seems like it has one interesting mechanic going for it. That being the ability to drain enemies away while they're on the ground. And the rest, not so much. Like, it's a bad sign that I'm already tired of it. I don't tire of beat-em-ups easily. In general, I'm pretty, if there's any genre I'm pretty forgiving of, it's beat-em-ups. But there just doesn't seem to be enough to keep the player engaged here. It's pretty simple. Like, when I was playing Raging Blades, as much as I think Raging Blades has some serious issues with its design, I wasn't, like, bored or nothing. When the game was beating me up, I felt like I just had to climb higher. And this one, I'm not getting beat up at all. And granted, I am playing on normal difficulty. Was it supposed to be a jump scare? I am playing on normal difficulty, but I don't think normal should mean kind of mindless like this. I feel like maybe it's fair to ask for more. Especially since this is the second sewer level. Like, I'm not even thinking all that much about the pacing because I have most of the stuff internalized now. I don't like, by the way, I really dislike that they replaced the bat swing while moving with this. That just doesn't seem as functional or simple to use as the bat swing move. Like, I can still stand still to use the bat swing move, but I'd rather not have the charge attack at all. I don't really see a benefit to it yet. I guess I used it to cheese the boss a bit. But is that really a positive? I don't know. The enemy has the key to the door. You don't say. Yeah, as I was saying, this does really feel like the sort of game that critics made fun of when they were making fun of beat-em-ups as a genre. You just fight the few same enemies, and they're not like in any more challenging configurations necessarily. The movesets are simple, and then you come to a door that's locked, and you gotta fight more enemies to get a key. And there are games where that's enough, because the mechanics are good. It just feels like this game can't really lean on that. This key appears to be to this door back here, so I'm gonna head back and check it out, even if it's not the way forward. Oh, it's this guy again. Strange little fellow he is. Is that what that switch does? You got a dedicated switch for that? Alright. I guess I'll fight these guys if you want. I don't really see much point in it, but I guess. We never really established your motivation or, like, name, either. We didn't really establish the motivation of the girl who ran up and tried to kill me, but she wasn't committing acts of terrorism, so she's a less interesting character, I'm sorry to say. Like, the fact alone that you're willing to commit acts of terrorism speaks to some sort of deep, vengeful cause in your heart. Some sort of passionate calling that I would like to explore. With that girl who was fighting me, I don't know. I don't know anything about her. I don't know what she wanted with me, really. And I'm not too inclined to find out. I think we're the real adversaries, you and me, up there, buddy. Like, no matter what this game tries to say, I think you and I have something special. You could send more than just a couple enemies at a time, though, I think. Like, more than just a couple. Please. Pretty please. No, I would really like for you to send additional enemies. I would really like more. Because I feel like I've got this down. I don't mean to be insulting to your this challenge you're trying to impose. It's still more. See, just like last time, I'm starting to question, am I doing this right? Is this how this is supposed to go? Or is there some other trigger I'm not privy to that would make this less awful? Like, do I got to get up there somehow to fight that guy, or like how many times? Oh, no, that was it. All right, I guess that, and the level just ends right there without any like rhyme or reason. It just ends, huh? I'm gonna take another drink of my tea. Not gonna lie, I took a big honkin' swig that time, just because I used the tea as a timer, and I kind of want this game to end faster. I kind of want to be done playing Realm of the Dead. But I guess, you know, while we're here, might as well get one more level going. The underground prison looks a lot like the sewer we've been seeing so far. And it looks awfully similar is all. What do you know, it's more it is more sewer. Is this a new enemy type? Oh, can this guy not be knocked over? That might be cool. Let go of me, please. Like, I'm still not taking very much damage, but if this enemy can't be knocked over, that might be neat. I guess I can knock him over with my fist. Can I knock him over with this? Oops, wrong attack. That one. Yeah, this enemy's fairly mobile. Like, it seems like I have to use more advanced techniques to knock him over. He moves faster. Yeah, seems like just in general they're putting up more of a fight with this enemy type than previously. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay way more attention to what I'm doing when I'm fighting that guy. I guess I suppose dropping a single interesting enemy type is a way to keep me going. It took a bit, much longer than I'd like, frankly. But it seems alright. Like, if you're gonna spice up the game in some way, adding an enemy that I can't easily defeat is definitely optimal. Especially since it's a beat 'em up, and beat 'em ups just kind of are their enemies. You have to manage the player's skill level against a variety of unique, varied challenges in order to keep them engaged in what's happening. That appears to have been the only enemy that I've encountered so far. And granted, I might have just been going in circles. It's kind of hard to say. I'm getting real, McFarlane's Evil Prophecy vibes. You mean this? Because I was trying to interact with this, I didn't really... I tried using the interact button with that, but I suppose it wanted me to hit it. Probably not the optimal place to use that, but again, you know, just kind of do it when I feel like it. I might forget about it if I tried to save it for later also. Oh, an environmental hazard. That's kind of unexpected, actually. I suppose that's what the antidotes are for. And if there is anywhere you'd be, like, prone to getting poisoned, it'd probably be the sewer stage. Do I just tank it, or do I wait? I think I'll probably wait. Alright, now let's go. I was not patient enough. I'm just gonna see how long the poison lasts. I'm not in any big hurry to fix myself. To fix up Geezer here. Hey guys, have you seen that cool enemy type I fought? Because I kind of want to practice on that guy some more. Like, I don't mean to be rude. I just feel like he knew what was up. He had more respect for me as a combatant. Felt like we vibed together. Like I was having to think about the design in new ways. What's even the point of having a key if the thing the key unlocks is right here? What's even the point? Why even put a key there? Gonna take another sip of my tea. Very underwhelming game, just in general. Like, it's not doing a lot with the zombie theme. It's not doing a lot with the design. I fought one interesting enemy, and I expected to see more of them, like, more or less instantly. But I suppose not. I wonder what the gas bomb could do. These don't seem like enemies that are prone to being affected by something as trivial as gas. Like, they're dead, right? We don't even know why they're dead, but we're fairly certain they're dead. Because the game is called Realm of the Dead and all. I wonder if this game would be better or worse if you removed the invincibility frames from hitting downed enemies. Because on the one hand, that's like your safe zone. But on the other hand, is it too much of one? Maybe it's too lenient. Ah, there is sewage coming out of that. Hey, dog buddies. I fought a bunch of you before. Yeah, I don't know. The initial appeal of this game, that being the funny generic Holy Knight character, the rock intro, the fantasy aesthetic, and my latent goodwill from having played other Simple Series games. I just don't really... I feel like that's all gone now. And I feel like it's easy to understand why. You can see that I'm not really engaging my brain none. Which is, you know, why I play these. To be challenged, to think, to experience new worlds, to see new things. I suppose that's a wall. I thought maybe the wall was strange enough that it might secretly be a door. I still haven't beaten any of the enemies by hitting them while they're upright, I think. Oh, is that it? Is that the level? Just the one interesting enemy? Really, guys? Just the one at the beginning? Man. Strong attack button while an enemy is thrown through the air to slam them back to the ground. I still got a couple more sips of tea left. I guess we can try that out. I guess we can. I'm not particularly interested in playing much more of this, though. Like, just in general. Like, maybe if I were a younger mayor. Ooh, what's this? This actually looks kind of interesting. Well, it's more interesting than the sewer. As I was saying, maybe if I were younger, and, like, I have a feeling this game doesn't have a full playthrough. Maybe I would be the person to record a full playthrough, show the world how it's done, how you play Realm of the Dead. Because I've been in that position before, where I was the first person to record playthroughs of a beat-em-up. And it was fun enough. But I don't think in this case it would be. I feel like maybe I'm not understanding the move. Let me check it out. Press the strong attack button while an enemy is thrown through the air to slam them back to the ground. That's what I thought I did. Let me try again. Get up. Alright, let's try it a third time. I'm patient. Yeah, no, I'm... It's probably just timing, right? Like, I don't have the timing down. But it's not working. So, I guess I won't be trying that out. Oh. Cool dodge move. Are you going to do something else, though? Nope, just going to stand there and let me hit you. It appears your body's stuck in the wall, buddy, so I can't really, like, get at you. Let me try again. There we go. Thank you for cooperating. But yeah, no, this game's just failing to present anything of interest at this point. Like, I'm glad that this level's marginally more interesting visually. I'm glad they introduced a new enemy type very briefly. For all I know, that might have been a mini-boss. And the idea of attacking enemies while they're down is cool. I like that. It's not something you often see in beat-em-ups. But none of that's enough by itself. Like, this could just be so much more if they were willing to throw more enemies together, utilize that new enemy type more frequently, maybe streamline the levels a bit. I don't know how long this game is, but I can already tell you right now, however long it is, it's too long. Take a sip of my tea. Very strange fellow. I only have one sip of tea left. Again, I did take a giant swig, but I think it's perfectly sensible that I did such. Oh, hey, buddy. Sorry, you were behind the door. Yep, still doing this. Not really feeling much emotionally. Kind of dead inside. Maybe you have to be dead inside to be a holy knight. I always got the impression that holy knights were incredibly passionate. Like, sure, they're often stoic, but I don't think that's at odds with passion. I feel like you can be very stoic and very passionate at the same time. Give me something. Come on. Okay, give me some kind of stimulation here. Oh, who are you? Oh, it's just another one. Oh, it's just more of these guys. Alright. Everyone get together. Oh, yeah, I bet you thought this was real threatening, huh? I bet you sure thought that you did something here. But you didn't. You didn't do something. Because You didn't, though. Unfortunate. Now, if they did that a few more times, I might actually be threatened. What are you? Exactly. Oh, you're that enemy type that I thought was pretty challenging. Hold on, let me come get you. I'm glad to see you again. I think I got you stuck, but it's been good to see you, even if we should have met under better circumstances. I wonder where my tiny buddy is. I miss him. Alright, game. I think it's time for my final sip. You got anything else to say before I take my final sip? Anything zombie related or challenge related or... Oh, is this another room full of enemies? Cool. Let's see how I deal with them. I will do this final challenge for you, game, because I understand. You finally listened to me. You put more enemies in a room together. It's only fair. Not nearly as many as in that other room, though. I feel like that was only about 4. You can do better. Especially since I've seen you do better. Like, come on. Cool. Is that it? No, is that it? Alright, well, I think that Is it just this again? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 enemies? Just 4? It's just 4 of you again? Because I can just keep, like, knocking you in the air with my... Oh, there's more. Okay. I think that this is the situation the fire bombs are made for. Not the fire bombs, this one, yeah. Probably could hit more than one at a time with this thing. I think. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. Yeah, I feel like they're just not aggressive enough to make use of your downtime, and you have way too many moves at this point for 5 of these basic guys to be challenging by themselves. Like, maybe that's not fair. A lot of people tell me I'm an expert at the genre, and that my standards for difficulty shouldn't be the norm. But that's the thing, right? Is that I got good at playing beat-em-ups by playing Streets of Rage and Final Fight. And Streets of Rage and Final Fight most certainly did not hold back. Streets of Rage and Final Fight were pretty brutal games, especially the original Final Fight. So, like, when that's the starting point for your genre, more or less, like, those are the most famous games in the genre, Streets of Rage and Final Fight. I feel like it's okay to expect stuff like that. Alright, that was all of my tea. So, I think that's it for Realm of the Dead.